I'm Terry Sacka, and this is Rigged Against You. Something is happening in the gold and silver market. And here we have our gold and silver are still percolating. But I'm going to show you some things happening globally you're not being told in the mainstream. Now, I've talked a little bit about this stuff on different podcasts. But something is going down, and it's all related to tariffs. And wait until you see what I'm showing. But this is big time stuff because it all is wrapped around the Great Reset. So don't underestimate that the Great Reset is still happening. I have tremendous confidence that we can get through what is coming. But I still say we're walking through some fire, and there are going to be landmines along the way because it has been a setup for this to collapse. There has been a lot behind the scenes in the global power elite, I guess you could say. And the Great Reset is moving rapidly. And I'm going to show you why. And it's definitely related to China. So is there something going on in the gold and silver market? Well, take a look at this. Bring this up a little bit more. Gold drainage out of London exports metal to the COMEX. Now look at the right side here. Look at above the channel there, how the spike, huge spike in gold leaving Europe coming to America. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, this is because of the tariffs. They're trying to get it into the United States before tariffs kick in because of the extra cost. But I'm going to say that there's a little more to this. This goes into the Great Reset. China is actually having their people. They are telling them, now this is stuff you can get if you're paying attention to the news, which most in America, of course, we're not, in the East and what's going on when it comes to BRICS, comes to the Great Reset, and what's taking place globally in the major shift that Trump is doing to the world economy. China is getting their actual citizens to take their currency to the banking system. And they're saying, hey, turn your currency into the banks and buy gold. Now, they're giving their citizens gold nearly almost at spot. And many people think, like, why would they do that? Does that hurt their currency? But there's an angle here. China's doing it to counter the dollar and the tariff because they know the West has been manipulating the gold and silver prices for real price discovery for quite some time. And they're going to force what I call arbitrage on the West. Meaning if the West continue to manipulate the gold and silver prices, they're going to come over here, drain the vaults in London and America, take all the gold and silver to the East, and sell it at a major profit. Although I think they're going to keep it. This is the way they're going to counter because it goes back. God, I always keep forgetting this image, but it goes back to the 1984 image where we have the Phoenix standing on burning currencies, and it had a medallion, gold medallion around saying 2018, a new world currency is coming. And this was in the Economist magazine. This has all been planned. Now, I think it's a few years past that because technology didn't catch up. But this is a huge deal. And for those people that are in the industry per se, this is big. The gold is not available. And what they're doing is they're shipping it over from London to COMEX to fill the gaps. COMEX has, and when it comes to eligible gold and silver, almost nothing. This is an extreme situation and one watch where it turns into. Now it gets even better when we go here. I'll make that one a little bigger. This is China buying tons of gold. Look at the spike. Now, what they're telling you, reported People's Bank of China purchases of gold is in the red. Well, it looks like nothing, right? Well, then look at the blue, major spike going up. This is the estimates of China purchases on London over-the-counter market. Big deal. So what they're doing is they're taking it away from the West without trying to make an alarm bell out of it, but they're telling their people to buy physical gold. They know that the world currencies are coming to a head. This is why I think Trump is talking about making America crypto capital of the world. I believe if we control the actual cross-border blockchain crypto technology, which will actually tokenize and put a QSIP code on every stock, every bond, every transaction, real estate. I mean, it gets deep. We're talking quadrillions in assets. If we do this right and we make tokens like XRP, HBAR, XLM, actual reserves, and they pick up 1 billion or a couple billion of those, and then we get to about 10,000 on XRP, we're talking about making hundreds of trillions in wealth for the United States. And the new stable coin, which just came live, that the United States will use as a digital dollar, we will use to coordinate with, my guess, this is the angle going into Canada and Mexico as well, form a Canadian-Mexico-American alliance on the digital RLUSD. All of this is part of the Great Reset. I really say that Trump is here to usher in the Great Reset. Many people are kind of unaware what that's actually going to mean in the Christian world. They're on a couple tangents with Nasara Gassara, which I think you may want to hold on to that thought for a moment. But the QFS, the quantitative financial system, is real. Everything is going to go to digital currency tokenization, meaning every asset will have a QSIP code. This is going down to the point where a stable coin, part of the cryptos, remember there's multiple cryptos. There's meme coins, which are just collectibles. There's stable coins, which are actually digital versions of a country's currency. But a stable coin has to be backed up by a tangible asset, something more like a commodity. Now, Trump has initially said he wants to use the US dollar to back up our stable coin, but the world knows the dollar's not worth much. So I think there's something behind the scenes with Judy Shelton. When all this goes down, we're going to see a gold-backed US Treasury bond, and then they're going to fractionalize gold onto the stable coin. And so they'll break it down into increments. So how many increments of gold will equal one stable coin US dollar? It's all in, you could say, steps and increments, all part of the Great Reset. But this unbelievable taking in the gold market behind the scenes, I can only tell you, being in the industry of the refining, mining side and the major supply side, we're not dealers. We're actually in, well, we are, but we're in the supply side. Something is going on in the supply side, and many are trying to brush it off that it's just, tariff protection. I don't buy it. Something much bigger is going on, and it gets a lot deeper than this, especially here. Take a look at this. This is the COMEX Depository Warehouse gold stock. Look at the explosion into the COMEX gold stock holdings. They're bringing gold. They're trying to get it over here. Now, I think that's going to be kind of a catch-22. Because if they get the gold here, it doesn't matter. If they're going to continue to manipulate the price, the Chinese, the Indians, and others in the East, and probably even Russia, will use sovereign funds, investment banks. They will go in, buy contracts on our phony futures exchange, and demand delivery. And that's what's taking place. There is a demand of physical delivery, and they can't meet it. So now they're bringing in as much as they can out of London. But London's running in trouble. The West is starting to be found out as a fake derivative financial place, not really backed up by a whole lot of real commodity tangible. Now, we do have commodities. We do have energy, but our energy sector has been sabotaged by the last administration. We need to get to energy independence to maintain greatness. But we better start hanging on to our natural resources. And I think that's why Trump is going for Greenland, because of the natural resources. I think a lot of this is about natural resources. And it's not about I think, I know. The world has always run off of natural resources, whether it be oil or food, or in this case, now moving towards AI, robotics, and into a digital realm. It's now rare earth minerals, which China controls a great part of that. Trump, to his credit, is going to end the Russian-Ukrainian war. And I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, is he's going to say, okay, Russia, you're going to get this territory to give you a buffer. NATO will never be allowed to go into Ukraine. But in that territory that Russia will be holding, unbelievable amount of rare earth minerals. And I think Trump is going to work out a deal where we're going to end this war, but you are going to, Russia, sell us these rare earth minerals. And I think Russia will go for it. They're going to make money on it. They're going to get security guarantees. I mean, this is brilliant businessmanship. But when you talk about the actual great reset taking place, this is serious. And the reason I'm getting into that is now that gold is marching towards $3,000 an ounce, that's nothing, of course. We are manipulating these prices, and we all know it. That's why many don't get involved. They just don't understand the gravity of what's coming. Gold will easily be marching towards 5,000 and above in gold, and silver will go to 3 figures. There's a reason the Samsung CEO said when silver is $200 an ounce. Holding our retirement accounts, 401ks, a portion of our assets, and physical tangible assets in a depository for retirement is paramount right now, always has been, but I think more are going to start to understand why, because as we're evolving into the digital realm, you're going to find that owning tangible assets, whether it be land, gold, silver, and other more complicated tangibles, we are going into a commodity super cycle. But owning tangibles outside that paper system, that digital system, is your only true peace of mind. And so you better take that part serious. You're going to buy gold even at $4,000. You don't think so, but you will. Right now, the retail in America, for whatever reason, is very, very anti-gold, silver, or they're not really buying a lot. I think the wise ones are, but many are not. They don't see the value in the comedy of that, as the silver will probably outperform the S&P over the next 18 months by 90%. And you're going to find yourself at the short stick of this investment cycle, regardless of the success I truly believe Trump can have. He is dealing with an enormous amount of trouble. So take a look at this part. This is amazing to me. Look at this. The SLV borrowing fee. This is in the silver. Now, you don't want to be doing silver or gold in ETFs right now. Forget the paper. But look at the borrowing fees, up to 12%. Unbelievable spike in borrowing costs going into silver. There is a panic in the silver and gold market on the wholesale level. Central banks are accumulating tremendous amounts of gold. Silver just happens to be the absolute national security metal for all these countries. China specifically, because they're the leader in manufacturing. They're a leader in the EV world and solar panels, and India and solar panels, and so on and so forth. And with AI and robotics coming in, all of it takes silver. And in our COMEX, which runs our silver exchange, which that thing is getting ready to just be blown right out of the water, we have about 2 weeks of eligible physical silver available. And the only way they're going to get additional supply, because in the mining industry, it's just not available. It's not. We're getting about a quarter ounce of silver per ton and a half of earth on open pit mining, mind you. It's not there. The big producers like Mexico, and see where that's is going to come in for their RLUSD and crypto. And of course, Russia and so forth. So there is a lot going on behind the scenes in commodities, and many are going to be surprised what happens. A lot of it, they say, is revolved around the U.S.-China tariffs. Now, the tariffs are as legit as it gets. At the end of the last administration, oh my gosh, have we just imploded the trade deficit. Right now, our trade deficit is out of control. U.S. 1.22 trillion manufactured good trade deficit in 2023 alone, not counting 2024. We are in the pit when it comes to trading with China. I don't know if Biden did this on purpose or they're just flat out stupid. I have to think it was on purpose to take down America and put us in that peg so they could usher in the global reset through the World Economic Forum. That looks like it's now failed. But this is huge. President Trump will not allow this level of trade deficit to exist. Tariffs are already in place and they're coming in strong, and there's going to get a bigger version of tariffs soon. And what they're doing is line iteming tariffs. So you're going to see that as it evolves, they'll keep putting certain sectors into what will be charged tariff. But tariffs is a word. A lot of companies, they make the same thing. They do it. There's different words they use, but they charge to bring goods and services in, period. That's how nations actually made their wealth in the past. We weren't supposed to have income taxes. We were supposed to get it through all these trade deals and tariffs and other forms of trade reconciliation, you could say. And these imbalances with countries like China, Vietnam, it just keeps growing. They're not going to be allowed under Trump. Now, many people that are barking about tariffs, especially on the left, are completely ignorant of finance. They're trying to say that it's going to bring all of this inflation. Now, to some extent, it will, but it has nothing to do with the tariff. It has everything to do with the fact that our dollar is in the toilet. It's worth about 3 cents of buying power to its day of creation. It is not the value you think it is. And so what we need to do is shift our thinking. We need to force companies. If you want to send goods and service to the United States, you are going to have to build manufacturing plants in the U.S. You're going to have to build your automobiles here. You're going to have to build whatever it is you're making in the United States to avoid the tariff. Now, the good news is it will bring amazing jobs and good paying jobs to unbelievable parts of the country as they start bringing these manufacturing plants into America. They will no longer be able to build in Mexico and ship over the border for free. That's what was going on under the left. Unbelievable. But I'm still contending it's just purely by design, on purpose. They wanted to take this country down, period. Now we're becoming a position of strength. And if you want to do business with the great consumer economy of the United States, you need to build it in the United States. That's what tariffs will force. They will get away from the tariffs because they'll be building within the United States. But something is brewing. This is all about the Great Reset. There is no doubt that you are going to see over the next 12 to 24 months an absolute evolution in everything we do financial. I won't be surprised if we even see a major reorganization of currencies. This all part goes back to The Economist magazine. They were calling for a new world currency. Now, I don't think they're going to get the new world currency, but they're definitely getting a form of. And we're not even talking about tokenization. Now, Larry Fink of BlackRock came out and said, once regulations pass this spring, we are going to go into tokenization of every bond and every stock. We're talking trillions upon trillions of dollars. We start tokenizing U.S. treasuries, bonds, stocks, tens of trillions are going to go into the blockchains like XRP, XLM, and probably HBAR. HBAR is going to be a big part of tokenization. As it evolves, you're going to find things like real estate contracts, gym memberships. We can go on and on. We'll all get put onto blockchain. Now, do I advocate putting all your wealth into blockchain like in your retirement accounts? No. Why? It's digital. So at the end of the day, will there be extreme wealth created? Yes. But do you want to be part of the digital realm with all of your wealth? No, because we get some cyber event or who knows what they'll manufacture as a false flag. All of a sudden, you're locked out. It is vital to have a big portion of your wealth in tangible assets outside the system, that if the digital realm goes down, you're holding wealth. Because at the end of the day, gold used to be a liability to the banking system, and it no longer will be in the future. As gold prices rose and silver prices rose, what it told the world is that the United States banking system was in trouble. Once we convert, once we pass regulations this spring and we convert into the Great Reset concept of crypto capital of the world, and we start tokenizing and we start using more digital assets, and then you get into fractionalization, which is probably for a different day. When we start doing that, you're going to see unbelievable wealth opportunities. Why you'll want to be outside? Because these stable coins, half the countries in the world will probably be stablecoin, backed up by an asset, corporate, government venture. There'll be a handful for sure. There'll be CBDC. These will be central bank digital currencies, absolute communist, tyrannical, authoritarian control, probably like China, where they want to control every aspect of your behavior through your money and tell you what you can eat, drink, do, and not do. We're not going there now because President Trump made clear he wants all Americans to have a choice of a currency. But as they go into this part of currency, the digital stable coin, a lot of these stable coins will be forced to be backed up by physical gold and other commodities to give it its value. Now, the United States is so confident that we can use the US dollar as our backup to the stable coin, but I contend that's probably not going to last long because we all know that the US dollar is not worth what the paper that it's on almost, right? So that will change too. I think that's where Judy Shelton and some others that are real smart in that world are coming in and probably going to introduce a gold-backed U.S. Treasury bond and some form of gold back into the stablecoin world as well. All of this is a net positive for gold and silver. Now, gold specifically, I will not be surprised to see gold 5,000-6,000 an ounce. And if the world evolves as it looks like it's doing into the tokenization and fractionalization of all assets, we're talking quadrillions of dollars. It then becomes a net positive for gold to be expensive. So all of a sudden, gold can be $20,000 an ounce. And it's a good thing now for the system because it's going to back up the digitization of these assets. Silver is a different conversation. Silver is a national security issue for almost every nation. I mean, we have 30 kilograms of silver per electric vehicle. The bombs we're blowing off in war have tons of silver in it. I mean, it is a big issue. China, everything they do from manufacturing plants to what they produce takes silver. So all of a sudden, silver is going to become a play. Now, I don't know how high silver can get. I see a lot of people saying, oh, it will be $1,000. I suppose if you go by what it should, yes. But what's realistic that the economy can handle? Silver can still be hundreds of dollars an ounce when it probably should be $2,000 an ounce. But even hundreds of dollars an ounce will be 1,000% return from here. It is a solid investment for those that think the stock market, the S&P, is going to outperform these commodities in a time of introduction to the Great Reset. And what is in front of us, you're not paying attention to the data I'm showing you, because this stuff is huge. And you can't do any more than that trade deficit. Trump is not going to allow this trade deficit to exist. And he's going to go after all the countries that have this deficit. And think about that one, because tariffs are here to stay. And there'll be other ways to raise money as well. As he said, he wants to make the external revenue service to go after countries that owe us the money. We are an amazing powerhouse of economy. The only way we, the people that are mostly living off of credit cards, can do that is to bring manufacturing back to the United States. Give good paying jobs and security. Clean out the government. The only reason Democrats are against Doge and Elon Musk is he's exposing the corrupt payouts to all these liberal Democrat organizations, the fraud, the waste, and the abuse of our taxpayer money to unbelievably egregious organizations. We will save hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion, in just eliminating that. And the good news, it eliminates that corrupt power base. And that's why you're seeing them holler in the streets. It has nothing to do with anything more than their power, and their supply line of money is being taken because we, the taxpayers, shouldn't be funding it. If it's not benefiting our country, if it's not building infrastructure, if it's not promoting manufacturing, if it's not bringing in services to we, the people, not paying off cronies and corporate people like Obamacare, $1 billion website. What? Right? $1 billion to build a website. If that's not egregious corruption, what is? Let's spend the money in our communities. Let's rebuild our infrastructure, our roads, our water. Put people to work and make America great. And I think we are getting there, but hold on, because we got a couple more years of fire to walk through. But something is happening in gold and silver, and why I'd be giving Cornerstone Asset Metals a call. It's never too late, because we're just getting started. So until next time, God bless you.
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.